I'm dating someone else, my wife said before the party. But she went crazy when I walked in with a stunning woman. She accused me of cheating, and then I said one thing that shut her up and her lover run away. She told me just as I was tying my left shoe, I'm seeing someone else. That was all. No warning, no preamble, just her voice behind me, flat and almost bored, as if she were checking the weather. I did not even turn around. Not right away. I remember staring at the loop of the shoelace in my fingers, as if I had forgotten how to finish it. There was a stupid commercial on the television in the background, something about cruise deals, and the actor's voice said, sail towards something new. I almost laughed. Instead, I blinked twice. I said, okay. That was all I gave her. No yelling, no crying, not even a who is he. Just okay. She froze behind me. I heard it in her breath. That small hesitation, that subtle panic. Because I don't know, she expected me to fall apart, to beg, to bleed, to blame. I did not. I stood up, adjusted my collar in the mirror, and walked past her. She flinched when my shoulder brushed against hers. Not because I touched her, but because I did not look at her when I did it. Are you really not going to say anything? She finally asked. I grabbed my keys from the hook. You have already said everything. Where are you going? To the party, I said. I was invited too, remember? But you thought I would stay home and mourn? No, you are not the only one who knows how to fake a smile. She did not follow me. Not then, but she would. And what happened at that party, what I did in front of everyone, was what left her shattered. Not my silence, not my pain, but my response. And believe me, I was not finished. The outside air hit me like a slap. Not because it was cold, but because everything inside me was hot and buzzing. My pulse felt strange, not fast, but deliberate, as if each beat was trying to remind me that I was still alive. I could hear her behind me on the porch. I did not give her the satisfaction of looking back. She did not follow me to the car. She probably stood there, watching me pull out of the driveway, thinking she had won, that she had handled it well, that I would cry in traffic. Maybe I would circle the block a couple of times and come home once I had calmed down. But she did not know me as well as she thought. Not anymore. I did not cry. I did not circle the block. I did not think. I drove straight to that rooftop party. The place was crowded. Warm lights were strung over the horizon, as if someone had tried to turn a broken heart into a celebration. Everyone was holding a drink, laughing too loudly. They were hugging each other as if they had all survived something I had not been invited to witness. I walked through them as if I were missed. No one noticed me at first. I was just the guy who arrived alone, underdressed, and with a storm behind his eyes. Then, Sybil saw me and shouted my name. I did not even know she remembered it. She hugged me tightly and said something about how glad she was that I had come. I smiled, not because I was happy to be there, but because smiling now felt like a weapon, one she would never expect me to use. And then, 10 minutes later, my wife appeared. No, correction. The woman who used to be my wife before she opened her mouth an hour ago. And she did not come alone. He was with her. Tall, tan, the kind of tan you don't get from working hard. The kind of tan you get from playing tennis on a Wednesday afternoon. His shirt was unbuttoned at the top, with a gold chain winking under the lights as if it knew all my secrets. They walked in laughing. That broke something inside of me that I did not know was still intact. She saw me almost instantly. Her smile fell from her face as if it had never belonged there. He did not notice. He was too busy being charming to someone near the bar. She made her way towards me. I stood exactly where I was, sipping whatever they had poured into the nearest glass I grabbed. I did not think you would actually come, she said in a low voice, scanning the room as if she was afraid someone might hear her. You invited me. You know that was not for real. Yes, I said. Neither were your vows. That froze her. I did not come here to fight, she said with her arms crossed and her voice tense. I did not come here for you, I replied, looking her in the eye. But I might leave with someone else. Her jaw tightened. She looked away as if the room had suddenly become too bright, as if the consequences had finally caught up with her. She had not even begun to realize what was coming, because I did not just show up to be seen. I came to perform. She stood there blinking, as if she could not process what I had just said. Maybe she expected a scene, something loud and embarrassing. Maybe she thought it would make her look like the victim, that I would scream something dirty, that I would give her an excuse to cry on her new man's chest, and say, see, this is why I had to leave him. But I did not give her that. I walked away. Not quickly, not dramatically, just cleanly, controlled, as if she were an afterthought. She did not follow me this time. Funny how she was suddenly good at staying behind. I found a quiet spot near the glass railing overlooking the skyline. The city looked so peaceful from up there. The lights twinkled as if nothing in the world was falling apart. I took another sip of my drink. I think it was rose, or maybe something with grapefruit. I did not care. It tasted sharp, and I liked that. That is when I saw her new guy again. Alone now. She must have gone to powder her conscience or something. He was laughing, engrossed in a story, surrounded by some of his co-workers I vaguely recognized from previous parties. I watched him closely. The way he gestured, the casual touch on the arm, the way he checked his reflection in the window when he thought no one was looking. He was not just with her. He enjoyed being with someone else's wife. There is a difference. I should have left. That is what the healthy version of me would have done. Go home, cry over a pizza box, delete social media, start a journal. You know, the usual male ritual for a broken heart. But standing there, watching him move so easily in my world, smiling with her lipstick probably still on his collar, something shifted. I took out my phone, not to text her, but someone else. A name I had not spoken in over a year. Mira was the only person my wife ever felt threatened by. We never cheated, not physically, but the emotional tension was nuclear. We worked together years ago, and there was a moment, one drunken night at a hotel bar in Chicago, where the line almost got crossed, but I went home to my wife. I chose loyalty. She chose Eli. Mira, I typed. You still look good in black. She replied in under 30 seconds. Why? Are you getting married or buried? I stared at her message and smiled for the first time in weeks. Neither, I wrote. But I need a favor. Are you free tonight? Another pause. Then, send the address. And just like that, I had a plan. It was not revenge. Not yet. But it was the beginning of a moment she would never recover from. Not tonight, not ever. I did not tell Mira everything. I did not have to. She knew something was wrong the second I texted her after so long. And the fact that she said yes, without asking why, told me everything I needed to know about how she still felt. She showed up 40 minutes later in a black velvet dress and heels that made her taller than she used to be. Her hair was longer too, darker, sleeker, and her confidence had gone from quiet to surgical. The moment she stepped out of the elevator, half the room turned, including my wife. I saw it happen from across the rooftop. The exact second her eyes locked on Mira, and something in her face tightened. Jealousy, not fear. Like seeing a ghost, a version of herself she thought she had buried years ago. Mira did not acknowledge her, did not even glance her way. She came straight to me and hugged me like she belonged there. You did not say it was this kind of party, she whispered. I shrugged. It was not supposed to be. Mira pulled back and scanned the crowd. Let me guess. The blonde in the sequin dress over there by the fire pit. I nodded once. She smirked. Amateur. She took my arm without being asked, as if she were staking a claim or maybe just borrowing it for the night. And that is when the real show began. We walked slowly together through the groups of guests who were suddenly taking notice of me. I could feel their eyes following Mira's legs, my expression, our body language. People who had not said a word to me all year were now smiling, nodding, offering a polite, "Hey man, good to see you." Comments as if I had not been invisible before. The fakes came quickly. Even Eli noticed. He tried to hide it, but his smile dimmed when he saw Mira. She was the kind of woman that made men reevaluate their relationships mid-conversation. She had that indecipherable energy, a little dangerous, completely uninterested in what people thought of her. My wife approached us as if she were walking into a shootout. Can we talk? She asked without taking her eyes off Mira. I tilted my head. Now you want to talk? Just a minute, alone. Mira looked at me, then at her. Oh, I will stay right here, she said, smiling as if she owned the place. Take your time. We moved to the side, maybe 10 feet away, just enough to pretend no one could hear us. You brought her, she hissed. You brought him, I said calmly. It is not the same. You are right, I said. He is new. Mira is a memory from the past. Her jaw clenched so tight I thought her teeth might crack. Are you doing this to hurt me? No, I said, leaning in slightly. That part is already over. This is just the part where I stop bleeding and let you watch. She swallowed hard. Her eyes were glassy. She wanted to scream now, but she did not because everyone was watching. And that is when Mira came over with a drink in her hand and said to her, sweet as honey, thank you for lending him to me. I will have him back to you by Monday. I have never seen someone's soul leave their body in real time, but I'm pretty sure I saw it that night, and I was not done yet. Not even close. She said nothing after Mira's line. She just stood there stunned, with the kind of silence that usually follows an accident. Her mouth opened, but no sound came out. I saw her try to form a sentence and fail twice before giving up completely and walking away without a word. She did not go back to him and not to the bar. She just moved away to a quiet place, probably somewhere she could breathe, but I did not follow her. I turned to Mira and asked if she wanted to dance. The DJ was playing a remix of a 90s pop song that did not fit the mood, but we moved to the edge of the rooftop. Anyway, Mira was effortless. She always had been. She did not care that people were watching. She was not trying to perform. She just moved with me as if we had never stopped. People were watching us. I did not care. They were whispering. I welcomed it. Across the room, I saw Eli for the first time looking uncomfortable. He was alone now, drinking something too quickly and pretending to text. No one was laughing at his jokes anymore. The spotlight had moved. And that is when she came back. Not to the center, not with her new guy. She found me again. Same spot, same tension. Can we please talk? She asked this time with a hint of panic in her voice, as if something inside her had finally broken. I looked at Mira. She gave me a slight nod. I will be at the bar. When my wife and I moved away again, I could see she was breathing as if she had just run 5 blocks. She was coming apart, but still trying to hold on to the thread. This is not fair, she said, her voice cracking. For whom? For me. I blinked. For you. She wiped her eyes, smudging her makeup. You don't understand. I did not plan this. The thing with him just happened. Things have been bad between us for a long time, and you did not even notice. Because I was too busy fixing things, I interrupted her. Things that you kept breaking in the dark and then pretended you did not know how they got that way. I did not cheat on you out of hate, she said suddenly. I just felt invisible. The moment she said that, something twisted inside me. Slow, deep, a kind of sick irony. Invisible, I repeated. That is funny, because I was the one who was invisible. I stood in every room next to you, introducing myself as your husband, while people smiled at me as if I were a waiter who forgot their drinks. She opened her mouth, probably to defend herself again, but I kept talking. I gave you everything I had and you handed it over to someone who does not even know what your favorite movie is. He does know. No, he thinks he knows. It is. Why are you letting him date the version of you that I helped build? That shut her up. And in the silence, I saw something flicker in her face. Not just guilt or regret, but loss. She realized she had not just broken something, she had burned it down. And now she was watching the ashes slip through her fingers in real time. You don't have to hate me, she said quietly. I don't hate you, I replied. I just don't have to respect you anymore. She flinched as if I had hit her. Good, because that was the moment she stopped being the woman I loved and started being the one who ruined everything. She did not follow me this time. She stood there with her shoulders slumped, her eyes darting around as if she hoped the conversation we just had would disappear into the noise, but it would not. People saw it, people noticed, and Mira saw it all. I went back to her, and she offered me a drink as if nothing had happened. That was the thing about Mira. She did not get flustered, she did not need drama. She was the drama if you pushed her enough. And I think she could sense that I was getting to that place inside myself where pain turns into performance. Are you okay? She asked quietly, handing me the drink. Not even close, I said. But I'm ready. For what? For the closing. My kind of closing. I walked over to the microphone. You see, Civil's party was not just drinks and socializing. He had planned speeches, a toast here, a joke there, some inside jokes that only his co-workers would get. I was not on the list, of course, but the guy running the audio recognized me from one of his barbecues last year and said, "Do you want to say something? But be quick. If Bill is on in 10-inch. I smiled. I will be brief. I was not. The microphone feedback was the first thing heard, cutting through the rooftop chatter. People turned. I cleared my throat, scanning the crowd until my eyes found hers, standing next to him and now, with her drink frozen halfway to her lips. Hello everyone. I began, my voice steady, calm, almost too calm. I know I'm not on the program, but I just wanted to take a quick moment to say something. Not to Civil, although happy birthday, but to someone else in this room. The crowd went silent. She is wearing a silver dress, I said. And she told me about an hour ago that she has been sleeping with someone else, not just sleeping with him, laughing with him, planning with him, hiding things, real things, things you only share when you have decided that someone new is worth destroying what you already have. A sharp intake of breath went through the guests. And I'm not saying this to embarrass her, I continued. Although let us be honest, she did a great job of that on her own. I'm saying this because some people only understand consequences when the lights are on and everyone is watching. I turned to her then. She was not breathing. Eli was red and was moving away from her as if she had become radioactive. You wanted to tell me before the party, I said into the microphone, still with my eyes locked on hers. Well, now the party knows. I guess that makes us even. I handed the microphone back to the stunned Jay. I turned without another word and walked towards the elevator. I felt Mira by my side, silent, powerful in her restraint. The elevator chimed, the doors opened. I did not look back, but I heard it. Not a scream, not a sob, just a single sound. A glass shattering against the concrete. Whether she dropped it or threw it, I will never know. And I don't care, because that was the moment I stopped being the man she left behind and started being the one she should have never let go. The silence in the car was heavier than the music on the rooftop. Mira did not speak. She did not need to. She just drove with one hand on the wheel and the other resting on the armrest between us, her fingers brushing against mine from time to time. Not like a lover, not yet, but like someone grounding me, making sure I did not drift back to that place where betrayal rots your spine from the inside out. I should have felt euphoric, as if I had won. But winning does not feel like a parade. It feels like breathing alone for the first time in years and realizing how shallow your breath had become. When she dropped me off at my house, Mira did not ask to come in. She just leaned over before I got out and said, "That was brutal. Not just for her, but for you too. Don't pretend it did not cost you something." I nodded. I opened the door and said the only thing I could. "Thank you for reminding me who I used to be." Inside, the house was also silent. Candles burned out long ago. Their wax melted into strange shapes that looked almost like evidence. I sat in the dark for a while. No lights, no music, just the low hum of the refrigerator and the occasional distant car passing outside. Then I heard the knock. Not a bang, not a desperate pounding, just two soft, testing taps. She did not wait for me to open. She tried the knob, found it unlocked, and walked in as if she still had the right. She stood in the doorway, backlit by the street lamp, her makeup smudged, her dress wrinkled, her heels in her hand. "I did not know where else to go," she said. "That is not true," I replied. She did not argue. She came in further. Then she stopped in the middle of the living room, as if she were afraid to touch anything, as if the very air might accuse her. "Everyone was looking at me like I was trash," she said, almost in a whisper. Even Eli. He left early, by the way. He did not say a word. He just disappeared." "You chose him," I said flatly. "No," she snapped. "I chose wrong. It is not the same." I stood up, walked past her, poured myself a glass of water as if I was not dying to throw it in her face. She followed me to the kitchen. "Please," she said, "let me explain. You already did tonight, when you laughed with him. When you told me before the party just to ease your guilt. When you walked in there with another man on your arm, as if I were roadkill in your rearview mirror. I did not think you would actually show up." "Exactly," I interrupted her. "You thought I would stay home and make myself small." Her eyes filled with tears again. But this time I did not care. Tears only mean something when they come before the disaster. "I still love you," she said, her voice breaking. And for a second, a stupid, muscle memory second, my body reacted. My chest tightened. My breath hitched, because hearing those words from the person who shattered you hits like static in your bones. But my mind had already stopped playing dead. I left the door unlocked, I said slowly. Not because I wanted you to come back, but because I wanted you to see that even when you could walk in, you no longer belong here. Her lip trembled. You don't mean that. Yes, I do, I said. And you think so too. You just took too long to say it. She took a step back, then another, and when the door closed behind her, I felt something I had not felt in months. Stillness. Not peace. Not yet, but the space where peace could finally grow. It has been 5 weeks since that night. I have replayed it 1,000 times in my head. The party, the speech, the silence that followed. For a while, I questioned everything. Not just her betrayal, but my own. No, the cheating. No, I never touched anyone, but I betrayed myself. For years, I let my voice become silent. I let my needs become optional. I let her rewrite who I was just because she did not like the original draft. That was my fault, but this is the thing about pain. It teaches you to see clearly. I finally saw that she had let go long before Eli came along. I was just holding on tighter, thinking that if I squeezed hard enough, the cracks would not spread. But cracks don't care about effort. They spread anyway, and now I can finally admit it. She was gone long before she packed her bags. I just was not ready to open the door and let her absence in. Now I'm. The apartment is different now. Brighter, cleaner, quieter in a good way. I donated the couch we picked out together. I changed the locks. I took down the wedding photo. I did not burn it. I'm not that dramatic. I just put it away like an old book I have already read and don't need to reread to remember how it ends. Mira, she is still around. Not in a whirlwind, not on the rebound, just around. Sometimes we text. She comes over with takeout, and we don't talk about the past. We talk about movies, politics, that annoying neighbor who always forgets trash day. She does not ask me what I want next, and I love her for that. For the first time in a long time, I don't feel like a supporting character in someone else's story. I have started writing again, just small things, posts, journal entries, even some half-finished songs I will probably never show anyone. It is not about being good. It is about feeling like it is mine again. Sometimes I walk past mirrors and don't recognize myself, but not because I'm lost, but because I'm changing. I still have bad days. Mornings where her ghost lingers in the shape of the bed. Nights where I wonder if I was ever enough or if I just tried too hard to become someone who could be. But those days are fading. One truth keeps me moving. She may have broken my heart, but I decide what grows in the ruins, and this time it is going to be something of my own.